Recording in progress saves time sometimes. And here we are now recording another fun week of Athletics LLC. So happy relays weekend, first of two. But here comes the sanity, right? A lot of stuff going on this weekend. So we will welcome all of it with another episode with these lovely tiles. Clyde, how are you today, sir?
Still at work.
All work, all the time. Today's price, I'm wondering where that'll go. How are you today, sir?
Today's price is not yesterday's price.
Got it. Okay. Heard.
I'm doing very well.
You're learning.
I'm doing very, very well. We are in the middle of a training camp. It's been going really well. God was wonderful and brought about the rain on our recovery day, and no more days. So that's beautiful.
Sounds
pumped to be here.
refreshing.
Indeed.
Last but never least, Sir Lucius, how are you today, sir?
I am wonderful. Excited about the Florida relays this weekend. It's always a great way to kick off our season. Give me a chance to see what I have to do and what I have to undo. So always, Sunday's film sessions will be interesting. Let's put it that way. So looking forward to it.
Isn't that funny how just the transition from indoor to outdoor brings about so many weird things?
Absolutely.
Oh, and never an indicator coming before it. Exactly. And you're like, who are you? What happened?
It's actually quite maddening. It's not fun at all.
No, it's not, but it's crazy just because you give them more space and they're like, oh, well, let's just put more stuff in the bag to make it more chaotic. How, Sway? How? Anyways, to bring a little bit of madness, chaos to the tiles. The question was asked, and we shall give our input as to, do relay meets matter anymore? I think matter's my question. What do you mean by matter? Matter to Tiefers, matter to clout, matter to the Air Force Ones.
That's for sure.
It definitely don't matter to Tiefers.
You know what I mean? Or like, because we can post it, is it IG clout?
None of them matter in the ways that they traditionally once did. And I do mean all of them. Florida, Texas, especially Penn and Drake.
Yeah.
They still matter. They still matter in the nostalgia space, I think. There are a lot of people committed to that enterprise. Prime example. X number of years ago, if you wanted a legitimate chance to recruit Jamaican kids, you needed to be at Penn. That was the process. Social media, technology, whatever, that is no longer the process. It's not even relevant, though it may be interesting. The nostalgia of who comes to these meets and, everybody getting hyped to open up their season in a serious relay format, I still think is interesting to our sport. I know it still matters competitively to the teams that show up, right? If you're going into Austin, Texas for Texas relays, you're going in there to try to make UT look bad on their track. And they're going in there to try to do the opposite to everybody else, right? There are rivalries that go on at these meets that will always matter in that sense. But I think the allure of it has definitely diminished. And I think a big part of that is, the choices that coaches make. And that's okay. I'm here for track nostalgia. I'm a purist. These meets are fun. They're still entertaining. And as long as they are run well, they're still a great show and a good time, and people should still do them. And they're early enough in the season that, they don't really impact the longevity of the outdoor season, but they're nice openers.
I'm going to put a whole different spin on it. From where I sit, they absolutely matter. I don't think that there is a better way to build a team camaraderie, or build a team closeness than running relays. We just talked about how we've been cooped up inside and now we can get outside and spread our rings. So I don't think that's whether it's running the relays, running your open event, doing a field event, just the option of being outside. For a lot of teams, it's your first meet. And no matter where you go, I don't think I could speak for the Gators anymore. We're not showing up trying to embarrass anybody. We're showing up to try to be competitive, and we're showing up to try to build on an outdoor season. So if our goal is to be great in May and June when it counts, we have to start someplace. And so for us, I've always felt, even back when I was a high school coach, there's no better way to build a team, to build team unity, to build integrity within your team than to start with relays and have them learn to depend upon each other. So for me, the Florida relays, the Texas relays, this time of year is a great indicator of who I can depend on, who I know will go to war for their teammates, and also letting the teammates know who they can count on as well. I think later on, the Penn and Drake situation is totally different because back then it was just something because of the old days, something that people did. You go to Drake, you go to Penn because that's what you did. But I don't think I know it's not the same anymore because people realize, okay, if we just have to be in the top 48 in the country, I don't need to go from the South to the cold, from the West to the cold, just to say I went to Penn or Drake, you know? So for me, again, I think relay meets are great. I think they're important. I think it's a great way to start the season. It's a great way to build team unity. Yes.
Point of clarity, because I agree with the spirit of what you said, but are you attaching building team camaraderie through relays? That point, is that specific to relay meets? Like, couldn't that happen outside of the relay meets?
Well, I mean, if you're gonna run a 4x2 sprint medley, a 4x8,
Gotcha.
stuff like that. I mean, okay,
Gotcha.
so if I put and the ironic thing is we're not running a bunch of relays this year, right? Like it's just not because the fields aren't that great here. But for me, when we do those things, it gives their team, I mean, there's not a greater team builder from the sprint side ever than the 4x1 and the 4x4.
Yeah.
Never. And
Right.
so when you can pull that over to the 4x8, we can pull it to a DMR, we can pull it to a sprint method. See, I've always felt like the two events that if there was a way to get them into the NCAA championships to add more excitement, the 4x2 or the sprint medley, wow, right? Especially the sprint medley because it's the short sprint, the long sprint, and the longest sprint. So bringing those three events together, the 2, the 4, and 8, has always been something spectacular. So again, for me, that's a great way to do it. And usually early in the year, guys really don't want to line up because they're not sure if they're ready, right? They're not sure. So that's just the way my brain works. That's
all. Yeah, I'm always torn because it's funny. Like as a combined eventer, the relay meets usually mean you're getting ready to open up, like in your event in the decathlon, right, or heptathlon. So like they've almost always taken on a different take for me. But I really like relay meets, kind of for a lot of the reasons that Sarusha said. Like, I love to see a school that's got like a good but not great 4x4 and a really good but not great 4x1, like be able to run a masterful sprint medley because they've got those pieces, right? And there's a lot of schools that can put together, a couple 2s, a 4, and an 8, and it's funny. Like I always thought that the sprint medley would have been a better event to put in the Olympics than the mixed relay.
Agreed.
And even if you were going to make it mixed, I think a mixed sprint medley is better than a mixed 4x4. I could have made that make way more sense to me. But I'm always torn because I think relay meets early, there is still very much a place for them. But honestly, Penn and Drake, I love Penn and Drake, but they have kind of gone the way of the dodo at this point, right? Like now you can see that both those meets they're like an aging performer that's now just trying to figure out how to reinvent themselves and seek relevance, because there's no really compelling reason anymore to go to Penn or Drake, other than that's what you do, right? Other than you just want to go. But but there's no like programmatic advantage unless you live proximal. So if you live in Iowa, sure, go to Drake, right? If you live in the Northeast, sure, go to Penn, because it's a big meet. But to your point, if you live someplace warmer, you live someplace with better weather, there's definitely no reason to go to either one of those, because there's just as good a chance to blow the weekend on the weather.
And see, and that's kind of what happens. Like, we're back in 2011 or 2012 or whatever it was, like, we're all standing around the Penn relays and it's 45 degrees. I'm like, why are we here? You know, it's 85 degrees in Gainesville. It's 90, it's 85 in Baton Rouge, just whatever, wherever. If we're up here freezing, then why should we be? You know, the last time I went to Penn relays, I took a group up here in 2016. On Thursday during our pre-meet, it was hailing, right? The last time I went to Drake, the first day was 70. The second day it was 45 or 40. You know, like, I didn't even leave the gym the second day. It's just too cold, right? So it's like, it for us, you know, I'm not bad mouthing Penn or Drake, because we were treated wonderfully at both of those meets, but it just doesn't fit what we're trying to do. And then again, like, even if the system was the way it was with the descending order list, the way it was back in the day, I still don't think people would be going up there, because everybody else realized, like, I can host a meet on my own campus and still get the things I need to get done.
Yeah.
Sure.
So sitting on my side of the field, pun intended, the relay meets for the field events, we get lost, right? Because the priority does go to the runners, to the sprinters, to the DMR and things like that. So if we're not bringing squad, then what are we doing on the field side, right? Now, it brings me back to think, and I've thought this the whole entire time, is, you know, well, in California, when we go to the relay meets, they actually have field relays. So you get 3 jumpers and you get you accumulate their scores. I don't remember what they did for the verticals. I think verticals were just still independent. So, you know, not to say that that needs to be introduced at the collegiate level, because it is, I don't know, something, but I mean, we do the event rankings now. So we can do one on the spot, you know, whatever that means at that point. But I'll say, you know, and I recognize that the relay meets do take precedence to the sprinters or those who are running in the oval. But there are times when we get lost, if you would, because of that. So that's my only 2 cents about that.
Yeah, and we try to do here at the Florida Relays, we let 3 people in per school. That gets to be a bit cumbersome sometimes, but we're trying to be, you know, considerate of the field eventers. And with that, you get some schools that have 3 very good jumpers or throwers, and others that, I don't know.
Yeah,
just all yeah.
I agree. So, and I'll say, go ahead.
So I think that you can say that field events get lost in any track meet in America.
Yeah,
right? So I think that, you know, that's another thing we beat that horse to death before. So I just think I agree with you. But I think that for me in early season meet is you need to try to find opportunities for your field eventers to compete. So sometimes if there's a relay meet, they're only taking 2 people or there's standards, you may have to take your field event athletes to another place. So
yeah. Crazy.
May I offer a sub question in this? In today's world, in the new age of things, which of the relay meets is the most relevant?
I think it depends on the program. That's a programmatic question. I mean, like, obviously, if it's me, it's Florida relays. If it's Edric, it's Texas relays, right? And,
well, of course, the hosts would say that.
Yeah, but so that's what I'm saying. So I think that, okay, so I think that's a question you'd have to ask yourself if what relay meet would be most important to you, because it's going to be a different answer for everybody. Because I mean, I promise you again, like, I love the Florida relays because it's the Florida relays and it's our show, right? But if I was at Florida State, doesn't matter. Like Florida State, I think they're going to Texas relays this year, right?
Sure.
There's a bunch of schools that are going to LSU this weekend. It's not a relay.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, right.
You know,
not a relay. I would offer that to answer my own question. I don't know if Chu or the EP will jump in. I have always appreciated Mount Sac's relay competition and Florida's relay competition because they always hold out space for individual events across the board. Texas doesn't really do that. Penn doesn't do that. Drake doesn't really do that. though Drake kind of is like in the middle. Like they have more than Texas or Penn does, but not nearly as much as Mount Sac or Florida does. So for me, Florida and Mount Sac were always the more relevant of the relay meets because they were the more complete track meets with relay mix built in. And I've always liked that balance personally.
That is definitely by design here. That is something, because we used to be very relay heavy and not so much individual. But see, again, as soon as we go to the regional concept, then my mind goes to, let's start getting our regional or prelim marks right away, right? And because those opportunities are more important than, say, running a sprint medley or running a 4x2. So yeah.
Something for everyone to think about and come to their own conclusions. Definitely.
Yes,
ma'am. But all right. Well, next, definitely an opinion thing, and we're gonna have all of our own opinions in different areas. But who do we think will win their first gold of their career this year?
By gold, you mean Olympic gold?
That was my question too.
This year, yes, Olympic gold.
Olympic gold. Okay.
One of each gender, I'm assuming, because we always do that. Yes.
Sure.
I'm gonna go out on a huge limb here for the women. I'm gonna pick Shericka Jackson.
Oh, which event though?
200.
Okay. Took the easy route. He took the easy route.
I sure did. I went straight chalk on that one. I take no shame in my game there.
Devin Charlton.
Oh, that's a good pick, yeah.
Hey, you have to come get her. And I don't really see that happening right now.
Oof. Yeah, that's a tough one. I've had a long time to think about this question. It's still boggling for me. I promise you, I've been thinking about this question for 15, 16 hours, and the same person just keeps coming up, and I'm almost flabbergasted that I'm going to say this. I'm going to say Sha'Carri Richardson.
That's not
it's not a wild.
That's not a reach at all.
It just amazes me that has been my conclusion. You know what I mean? Like, sure. It keeps coming up. I'm like, I think that's the answer for me.
Okay.
Big league.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. In which event?
The 100.
Okay.
4x1. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, I've had people tell me that Sha'Carri's going to win the 200. I'll be clear.
I've been thinking about it since we got the topic, and I still haven't come up with one.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you one too. I'm gonna let you borrow my second one. Tara Davis in the long jump.
That popped in my head, and I don't think it's wrong. I just don't know if I could say it out loud, and I don't know what's stopping me. It's weird. You know how I get. Sometimes I just have a hard time like letting those things go until they happen.
I mean, I think she's definitely capable.
Yes.
And she's
definitely priming
doing
herself to do it.
She is, yeah. And see, the thing about Tara is like, there's no fear. She exists in her own little world, in her own little bubble, and she's out there doing her thing, having fun. So that alone gives her the opportunity to get that done, because I don't think the stage is going to be too big for her, because she doesn't. The stage, it's her stage, no matter where you show up at. Yeah.
Well, and respectfully, ironically, in that particular event, who is there to fear these days?
I mean, it ain't like she's the only 7-meter long jumper.
No, but
I mean, the German's back.
Huh?
Yeah.
The German's back.
You talking about Mahambo?
Yeah.
Cool. That's my point. Like, sure,
Mahambo, she's jumped over 7 meters several times, Chuck.
Yep. When was the last time she was relevant on a global stage? How many years has it been?
2.
I'm gonna need the fact checker to look that one up.
Okay,
World Championships.
So let me give you a big one here, so we don't go off into petty land. Femke Bol,
I thought she wanted gold.
Not Olympic gold.
not Olympic gold.
Olympic gold.
See, okay, I got stuck on the just gold part, not
now-
Olympic.
She running the 4?
I'm about to say, now what event?
Hey,
What event?
we'll see.
No.
We'll see.
no.
Okay,
Oh, you got to pick an event.
hold on a second. 400 hurdles.
All right.
All right. What,
400 hurdles.
beating Sid, or Sid ain't there?
I don't care who shows up. Femke Bol,
All right.
400 hurdles.
That's what I want to hear. Say it.
Right, Clyde, that's yours, right? You got to toe the line. You got to toe the line every time. to get there.
Got to get off the line. Yeah, I like it.
All right.
That's fine.
We'll let say it with your chest go first on the men's side.
I mean, okay. I mean, there's again, way out on the limb, low hanging fruit.
I know.
Noah Lyles. I mean, okay, there you go.
Oh, I had lower fruit.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I thought you were gonna take the lower.
I mean,
fruit, but
if we're gonna take the lowest of the fruit, I'll go ahead and say Grant Holloway. But
right.
I'm not allowed to say that, but yeah.
sure. But I actually
No,
no,
right
because
there.
that's not actually my pick. That was just the obvious thing that needed to be said.
you don't get 2 because you're not gonna take mine.
Well,
I
let
don't
him say
think
his and let him say his, and then he can come back.
I don't think I'm going to take yours, but go ahead. Let's see.
I'm gonna pick the youngster. I'm gonna say Ariana Knighton.
No, that wasn't my pick.
That's what I was going to say.
And ironically, I feel like mine's at a juxtaposition with yours. I don't know which event, but
You're gonna
I
say
feel like I
Tobogo.
got to take Tobogo.
But no, you got to pick an event. No.
No, I'm saying I don't know which event.
No. Hold on a second. But
No,
you
I
got,
telling you to
You
figure it
got 3
out.
to pick
No.
from.
I got you. Right.
okay.
I don't know anything other than being a fan of the kid. I don't know anything about him. I don't know who coaches him. I don't know Botswanan plans and all this other stuff. But if I'm just tea leaf reading, I feel like they're setting him up to run the Open 4, which is the decision.
Yeah.
Which is the decision I would probably make.
Yeah.
And if he is, I'll take him.
Yeah. If you told me today he was for sure running a 4, I would today for sure go put something on that.
And I will today for sure just to be me saying he's no chance he's winning the 400. First of all, I don't think he's going to run it. Second of all, again, and I'm going to be silly. I'm not a fan of Fugazi time trialing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
But
We've learned a lot on this show that one-offs
when
mean
you
nothing about rounding.
Exactly, because when you run
I know.
44 and they have to come back 25 hours later and do it again, it's a whole different feeling than running 44 seconds when second place is 46 seconds.
true, but are we prepared to call Tobogo Fugazi time trial?
No. I said I was going to be silly. I wasn't.
Okay.
I'm not calling him Fugazi. Look, that dude is for real. But for Fugazi, that's today's prices term. I was just throwing it out there, you know.
I mean, it is wild that it's not April yet, and that young man has run 30-64, 44, 20 something in 1994.
Right, but see, here's the wild part of that. It's April.
It's not. That's what I'm saying, right?
No, but can we hold on to that until August?
Right. That's the thing. It's a long time from now.
Has Krause ever won an Olympic gold?
Yes.
Okay.
He has the Olympic record.
Mahambo, it says Mahambo won a gold.
I didn't say she didn't. I'm asking.
No, what was the fact check then? I thought.
When was the
last time
last
she was
medal
relevant?
she got on the world stage?
Oh, okay. Oh, I looked up the wrong question. 2022 was with
It was Eugene.
world champ.
Eugene. We watched it.
That's what I said. I think it was just
that's how uninspiring that particular competition was. I didn't even remember.
You
just don't like her.
Exactly.
No, I have no problem with.
Hold on a second. See, here's my issue with the king of petty.
No,
The
I'm so
question
serious.
was, hold on a second.
If
Hold on a
you
second. The
run the
question,
tape
hold on a
after
second.
Worlds in
Hold on a
Eugene, we
second.
all flamed the women's horizontal jump.
That's not the point of whether we
We
flamed
all
the
flamed
long
it.
jump or not. The question was, you act like she had been irrelevant for years.
Right.
Today's
One
price,
season.
hold on a second. Today's price said 2 years ago, and you like, I feel like that's not right. That's wrong.
And I was wrong. That's cool.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was 3 to 4.
But
I
now you're
literally thought it was 3
uninspired.
to 4.
Okay. That's okay. It's okay.
All right. I think this follow-up question has already been not talked about, but talked to. But we'll say it out loud directly. Who do we think has the most pressure to win in 2024?
Wow.
I don't know if it's the most, but Tara Davis is up there for me. To the
Why is
point
it
I'm
pressure? The most pressure?
No, I said I don't know about the most, but she's up there on that list.
Yeah, see, I would kind of think that like there's no pressure for Tara at all. Like I think that the thing with Tara is, like I said, Tara is when from my eyes, and I've seen her a lot this year, she's just having fun. And so I don't think there's any pressure on her. Do I think that she would love to win the event? Yes. Do I think her camp is priming her to win the event? Yes. I don't see pressure on Tara. Like if Tara doesn't win, she just doesn't win. But Tara getting on the medal stand for me is what the American jumps needs right now. That's we got to start someplace. You know, if we're trying to get back to the golden oldie days, which is what I know everybody wants. Like remember that there were people in that group that had their harsh times that they had to build to where they got as well. So let's give her a chance to see. But I don't see the pressure for Tara. You know, and
Well,
I don't know.
She is carrying the American flag all by herself right now. It is what it is. If it ain't her, it ain't gonna be nobody else.
We'll see.
I mean, that's. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. That's wild to say. When there's another American who jumped 690 plus multiple times last year, that is absolutely wild to say. But it's okay. You like to say wild things, so.
See, and so to this point, before we go any further, I'm going to make a prediction that if you don't jump 7 meters, you don't make the U.S. team this year on the women's side.
That would be awesome and incredible.
And be ready to be awed. Be ready to be awed.
I am here for that.
It's coming.
Well, okay. So here's what I'll say. I get what you're saying, and I don't even necessarily disagree. I think 3 people over 7 meters jumping at Eugene would be spectacular because that place is not a good place to jump. I understand what you're saying. I just think the venue is not going to produce that. But I do get what you're saying, and because I think that event is very, very much on the rise. I'll go first. As weird as this is to say, I think there is a tremendous amount of pressure on a thing Mo.
Sure.
She's really young, and it almost seems weird, but there were legitimate questions and concerns last year about like how much she even really wanted to do track anymore, right? And if it's about maximizing and optimizing your money, if you train in LA, you want to win these Olympics, and you're American, you want to win these Olympics and ride that money train for the next 4 years. Sure. Like no question about it. So I there's a lot of people I think that fit kind of in that same category, but I'm gonna pick that young lady. That's my horse.
When it comes to her, like, see, there's 2 trains because the model train is going to be there because she has the look. She has the look. She has the vibe. She has the class. She has the walk, the talk. It's all there on the model side. But if she nails the track side as well, then both those trains ride fast off the tracks and are loaded with money. Yep. You know, it's just that simple. Like if she nails the Olympics on top of what she's already done, it just it puts her over the top in that market, in my opinion. And I definitely don't know what I'm talking about. That's just my opinion. So
I don't disagree with that. I am going to push back on it because the question is most pressure. I can't put a thing or Sid in that conversation because they've already done it. They already have Olympic gold. So
Yeah, I get it.
yes, you're not wrong about anything you said. I just couldn't go there with them because they've literally done it.
Okay, so now may I have a drop the mic moment because you guys have already picked your people. Okay, drop the mic. Mike Marsh, Michelle Freeman. Need to win all 4 of them. There's your pressure.
I mean, I don't know how any of us can argue with that.
Though that's
Yikes.
Look, you can't even be
so
mad.
funny
Look,
about
that's
You can't even say
that's a
anything.
king of
That's it.
that's a KOP answer. He took your answer.
it is a KOP answer.
it's
I highly appreciate the craft there. Bravo, well done, sir. They don't run the races, but I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad at it. That's really funny. I actually believe on the women's side, we are talking about the women at this moment. I feel like we were. I actually believe that the very obvious answer is Sha'Carri Richardson.
Sure.
That is the answer
See,
for
so
a million reasons.
see, this is what I'll tell you. See, I think seeing Sha'Carri and Tara, they're the same people. They don't care, right? So I think that in people's eyes, like there's this pressure for them to win, but I don't think that neither one of them feel any pressure. I mean, like I could be wrong, but like if you watch Sha'Carri, I think that if like, Dennis may be putting pressure on himself because he knows he's a special talent and he knows where he can get her to if she'll like really lock into him. But I mean, and maybe she just hides it well, but I just don't know that she feels that pressure, you know?
Well, I mean,
and if the contract she got is reportedly got, why would she feel pressure?
Well, if the contract she got is accurate by reports, we all know it's with Nike. I'm certain there's a whole lot of pressure built into that contract. But it's not, for me, it's not about if we're asking this question in the spirit of the sport, then it's the external pressure that comes to the athlete and the event. Whether or not the individual athlete gives a shit about it is a whole nother issue. And honestly, unless we knew these people directly and personally, we couldn't speak to. Like on the men's side, if you tell me that Grant doesn't feel pressure, I'll believe you. But the optics, oh, he's right there at the top of that list because of what happened in Tokyo.
But we haven't got to the men yet, so stop stealing people's answers.
But I'm on the inside of that one. See, there's no pressure there. There's a great amount of disappointment, and there's a great amount of motivation, but there's no pressure because here's the thing. So this is how we operate. We're going to be at our best when we need to be at our best. If somebody beats us, they beat us. Because see, pressure in my mind means that, oh, we got to do this. We don't have another chance. We can't do it. I mean, there's no pressure here. I can tell you that right now. Not based on the fact that we were second in Tokyo. There's no pressure there at all. Again, motivation, yes, but no pressure whatsoever. None whatsoever.
But you understand the distinction that I make.
Oh, I mean, look, okay, here's the thing. See, I understand that people on the outside think there's pressure. I get that. But where's the pressure? Because if Grant goes and gets the silver again, what happens to him? Nothing. Right? See, that's our mindset, okay? If we go to the Tokyo game, to Paris, the Tokyo alone, like, okay, we go to Paris and we do our best. If we are at our best in Paris and 3 people beat us, boy, okay, the best race ever, right? But our goal is we're not concerned about other people. We're not concerned about other people's opinions. Our task is for Grant and I to be at our best throughout this process so that he's at his best when the gun goes off in the Paris one. So there's no pressure there.
No, I get that. And we all, as coaches, former athletes, whatever, that is obviously true and hopefully the way the majority of people would look at it. It takes a very mature frame of mind to look at it that way. But this conversation is in the realm of sport. If LeBron wins or loses a final, what happens to him? Nothing. He gonna make his billion regardless, right? So sure, in the context that way, if you look at it that way, I get that. But in the context of just the sport and winning and losing and how people are viewed, okay, the pressure on their legacy, how about that? What's the
Okay,
pressure?
so understand this. My answer to you about Grant was you said if you tell me that there's no pressure on Grant, I'm going to believe you.
And I do
That's
believe
what you said.
I
Okay,
believe
so
you.
there
But
you
I'm
go.
just you're framing.
that's why I said what I was. No, I'm not framing that with everybody else. I'm just talking about Grant.
Right,
So
but
I
I'm
think
saying
here's my thing. I don't know what Shaqiri feels. I don't know what Tara feels. And we all know that there's a certain amount of pressure. Whether I put pressure on Grant, Grant's gonna put some pressure on himself. That's why he's a great sit that he is. So I'm not trying to sit here and try to act like there's no pressure at all. But we're not adding pressure to the situation. And my comment about Tara and Shaqiri probably should be more centered on that because of their personalities, they can handle whatever pressure is brought their way. That's probably the way I should put that.
I got you.
Because you're right. There's going to be pressure from the social media and all that stuff.
Sure.
I got it.
The perception police like to go crazy. So, Big League, did you give an answer?
No, because I don't think there's one that isn't the most that it was already said. So I concur. That's my answer.
Oh, if neither one of y'all have an answer, I'll throw another one in there for you.
Who you got?
Who else?
Noah.
No. We didn't do the men
yet. The guys yet.
Oh.
that was my guy.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
my bad.
I think we might all sort of kind of agree. I don't know, making an assumption. We'll let Big League take the answer of Noah, but I'm not sure how it could be a different answer as the most.
But here's okay, and so yes, definitely the most. And I'm for giving solidarity to the answer of the most. It's self-inflicted.
Yeah.
To himself.
Yeah. I mean, he said, "We want all the medals." Wasn't that his words?
All of them.
All of them.
Right.
All
right.
5 of them.
All 4.
All 5 of them. We want all 4, Coach. So
I mean, I think again, like Chu said, like Big League said. I mean, if there's any pressure on Noah, he's brought it upon himself. But I also think that that's something that Noah thrives on. I think Noah thrives on making predictions. It drives him to work harder. It drives him to perform better. You know, see, I recruited Noah and we signed Noah out of high school. I sat with Noah in like October of his senior year. And he told me, he said, I am going to be the world champion in the 100 someday. Back in the fall of 2015, he told me that. 8 years later, he's a world champion in the 100. So when he makes those statements, he believes in his heart he can make it happen. So when he says he wants to do those things, and again, does that come with some pressure? Absolutely, it does. But I don't think he's going to crumble under it by any stretch of the imagination. Let's put it like this: if people want the gold in 100 or 200, they're going to have to beat Noah. He's not going to give it to him.
Yeah.
He's not going to give it to him.
And he proved that last year.
Exactly. Yeah. Like one of the best conversations was when Fred said, "If Noah's running this, then I'm going to run this." Mm-hmm. And Noah's retort was not even blinking. Well, that's what everybody says until they get beat.
That's right.
Didn't flinch. They came and didn't have to think about it. Just came right out of his mouth.
and look, you know me. If you've earned the right to run your mouth, run your mouth. I ain't got no problem with anything Noah says or does because he took that spot. It's his. He's the guy. So while you sitting on top of the mountain, you can say whatever the hell you want.
Mm-hmm. And like when you go back in time, like, you know, the people forget, like Carl was kind of like that. You know, Carl would tell you, I'm going to win 4 gold medals. Carl would tell you, you know, I'm the best. And people took offense to Carl saying that. But Carl didn't care. You know, Michael Johnson talked a little trash in his day, right?
Maurice.
Little Maurice, yeah. You know, so yeah. You know, Noah is, you know, crafting himself in that mold. He's not afraid to get in front of people and say, I'm the best guy. You better be able to beat me. You know?
That's right.
Yeah. Got to appreciate him for that.
It's people that haven't earned the right to run their mouth that annoy me. It's a different issue.
Yeah, a much different issue.
All right. Well, that covers the important stuff. Now for the fun stuff. by not popular demand, by specific demand, we've got a hot seat. And shocker, Clyde's on the hot seat.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that happened, but I'm here for it.
I mean, listen, sometimes as the EP, you get personalized requests that are very specific. And usually I just chuckle it off and like, ha, no, I don't think we're going to do that. But this has been asked for 3 weeks straight.
What the heck?
So
Well,
I finally was
I
like,
hope the questions are worthy of the buildup.
well, that's up to Dr. Chu. So
Oh, goodness. Well, I have a couple, but then please feel free to chime in one each. Oh my goodness. Yeah. PT timing or flash results?
Wait, say that again?
Which platform do you prefer for meet results? PT timing or flash results?
Did you say P-key timing?
PT.
Oh, PT.
Yeah.
PT. I definitely prefer PT over flash results. But I will take RT over all of them.
Oh, record timing too. That was the other one I couldn't think of. Thank you. Sorry. I just forgot the other one. Dang it. Oh, voice memos or paper memos or written memos per se
Like for myself,
for yourself.
I lose all paper consistently. Everybody around here knows, don't hand me no paper. Don't expect paper to get handed from me to you. I lost a sticky note in 6 minutes yesterday. Don't know where it is. So, yeah, no.
On
I
the
don't do
bottom
paper.
of your shoe.
I don't do paper. I'm cool with the voice memos. I'm cool with the, recorded memos. Emails don't leave. So yeah, don't hand me paper if you want it, if you don't want it gone. I got to do pictures of my receipts or this whole place will turn into chaos.
Safeways or Albertsons? Do you grocery shop? Oh my gosh.
I mean, rarely. Instacart is definitely awesome. But I live in a rather bougie environment. So I'm gonna say Sprouts. I wouldn't choose to go to either one of those two places.
Oh my gosh.
I'd probably go to Rayleigh's or Trader Joe's before either of those two places.
$1 million.
I can't tell you the last time I was in a Safeway or an Albertson.
Wow. Sheesh. All right, gentlemen. Questions for the king.
And food should not be purchased at Walmart unless you have a very specific problem on your hands.
Yeah, I cannot agree with that more. Food at Walmart is a bad idea.
It's a grocery store.
Two impressive things you've seen in the last 2 weeks in track and field. Two things that you've seen in track and field the last 2 weeks that have impressed you, performance-wise.
I only need one, and we don't do this very often for very specific reasons, so I will leave the specifics out of it. But I watched a high school team run 38 seconds in the 4x1. Yep. That is the only answer. Yep. There is no second answer. And like if you follow the high school scene, as we all are supposed to be doing for our jobs, right? Those young men out of Humble, Texas, they never even ran 39. They went from 40 to 38. And if you watch the video, that is a masterclass in spacing. Spacing. There's only one true elite 100-meter guy on that team. That was a masterclass of spacing. And that performance proves, if anyone ever doubted, how badly the pro scene can be with 4x1s, like how bad it is, and how much fumbling of that specific event goes on at the collegiate level a lot of times. Like, if you get your spacing right, that's the kind of stuff you can see with children. So I think we all need to do better. Right. When that happened, I think they would have been number 2 in the NCAA. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
we're number 2 in the NCAA.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Oh,
You can take any athlete currently doing any sport and you get to coach them, and your goal is to win an Olympic medal in track and field. Who would you pick to coach, and in what event?
I don't like your
We'll give
question.
you 4 years. We're not talking about for 24. You get
Yeah,
till
no,
28.
I don't like the question.
I don't care.
I don't like the question because those questions usually lead me down a field event path, and that pisses me off because field events piss me off. I don't enjoy coaching them. They make me older than I need to be.
This is a Birdman hand rub. My plan has come together.
Yeah, so it's for you football-minded people. There's none of those dudes who I would pick to win a medal in a sprint. None of them. I don't know why, but as I realized what you were asking me, something hit me of a healthy Zach LaVine in a horizontal event. I don't know why.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Longer triple, probably triple.
That's interesting you picked him, and in that I would have picked Zach LaVine if I was going to pick Zach LaVine and put him in the high jump. But I look, I'm here for it.
And I'll tell you the reason why I went horizontal, because you know his best aerial theatrics in basketball are typically off of 1 foot, where most of the power exciting guys like Anthony Edwards does most of the stuff that he does off 2 feet, which doesn't play, right? So it's rare that the basketball guys look amazing, spectacular, etc., off of 1 foot, and kind of he's like somebody I was like, oh yeah, that dude could live over here.
He could, for sure.
interesting. I wonder what the comments will look like on that one. There's going to be some chatter. So if you guys haven't, Tiles included, you all haven't looked at the comments from last week's show and the input that was given into a couple of topics, that is my worm on a hook for you to go look at last week's episode. Either watch it again or watch it for the first time and then read the comments, because we did a good job about getting people giving them some spice. We got some spice in the comments. So
Now, before you try to wrap it up too, I'm not gonna let us be irresponsible here. We don't have to calculate and take score. But
the governor's about to join us. Just as
well, good. He right on time then, because we cannot exit this without. We're already late. I need NCAA men's and women's basketball championship prediction. You gotta give me a team. You gotta at least give me who's going to the Final Four.
I don't even know who's in.
Well, then just give me a champ. Who you like? What? You gotta give me something.
I got nothing.
I think
Pull
my
up the
final
bracket real quick of who's left.
I think my Final Four is UConn, Houston, Creighton. Is Creighton in the same one as Purdue?
Creighton is in the same. Yes.
Yeah. So it's UConn, Houston, Creighton, and then who's the other number one?
Houston, Purdue, UConn, and UNC are the men's number ones.
So I picked the 3 1s and Creighton.
So you picked UNC, UConn, Creighton, and Houston.
That is correct. And I picked UConn to repeat over Houston in the championship.
Okay.
So there's your answer from my perspective.
So Interestingly enough, when I saw the brackets, I was like, oh, this is perfect because one of these two either gonna have to get it done or finally flop or keep flopping, right? So Purdue's playing Gonzaga.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a West Coast guy, so I definitely had Gonzaga coming out of that situation. Houston almost blew it, but I did have them coming out of their situation. I had Arizona coming out and UConn. And if I remember correctly, I had UConn repeating as well.
I'm gonna have to pass, guys. I have no idea what's going on with the tournament. So other than the fact that we're out of it, that's all I got. So.
I have no clue. I have to do the same. I only know that the Horizon League beat the SEC, and I have no clue after that.
That's I'm
Good
here for
job.
that.
I mean,
Good job,
listen,
Big
I'll
man.
say this. So many times in my life, I've had to hear about how the SEC is so good in every sport. And I always say,
Oh,
listen,
here we go.
no, I'm not. No, this isn't an SEC shot. I promise. But like, I'm like, look, if you would just stop that sentence at football, like, I'll buy it. It's like, but you're never going to convince me the SEC is a basketball conference because it just isn't. And and I always hear, but this and that. I'm like, look, take Kentucky out of the SEC. Not what do you have? You have a national title at Arkansas, like when most people weren't alive.
Whoa.
And back-to-back championships from the Gators.
Don't you disrespect us like that. Don't you do it.
Take that tone out your mouth, boy.
Exactly. Yeah. Put your
So
chest
wait.
away on that one now.
All right. Well, since me and you are the only ones paying attention, sir, you got to give me the women, which is definitely the
I
more
am
intriguing
never
tournament.
in life going to bet against Dawn Staley. It's not happening.
Okay, but no Final Four.
I'm never betting against Dawn Staley. I don't even care. Dawn
I hear
Staley.
you.
The Gamecocks are going to win.
I mean, I'm with you on the Gamecocks. Clearly, go Gamecocks, right? I had South Carolina, Stanford, Southern California, USC, the other USC, and Iowa. Iowa over LSU in the next advancement, right? Even though I really want to watch LSU play South Carolina again, just because I thoroughly enjoy watching that nonsense. But I don't think LSU can get past Iowa this time. So I had South Carolina in the finals against USC versus USC, and the real USC, the Gamecocks, taking that down.
Wow.
Oh yes, we were first. Gamecock.
What's basketball? Don't even know. Well, with that being said, y'all, have fun with your brackets. Whatever at this point. But have a great relay weekend or a regular meet weekend if that's where you're going. Travel safe, have fun. We'll see each other again soon. Bye, guys.